I'm Mike Gilsenan. I'm a senior lecturer in youth and community work at Newman University. Currently the joint programme leader of the BA Honours in Youth and Community Work. Today with us here is, who have we got?
Maggi Huckfield. I'm from Liberty Staffordshire, a project working with young people with special educational needs and disabilities in Staffordshire.
I'm Nick Davies. I'm a third-year student at Newman University studying youth and community work, and also on placement at Liberty Staffordshire, which is obviously my placement, but also my job at the moment.
Good one, excellent. Okay, so that's good. So you've managed to get a job out of being on placement as well, Nick. So yeah, excellent. Yeah. Okay, so. Maggie, do you just want to start off by telling us a little bit about Liberty Staffordshire, the kind of work that you do, and then just tell us a bit about the kind of shift in approach that you've had to undertake due to the current sort of COVID-19 lockdown?
Yeah, okay. So Liberty Staffordshire runs youth provisions for young people who have got special educational needs and disabilities, and we run various groups. So we would run across the week, offering after school youth groups and evening youth groups, age appropriate and need appropriate. And we also run sports provisions within that, so inclusive sports programs as well. We run a Makaton choir for young people as well within the youth groups. And then we also have, so there's two elements. We've got a CIC, which is all of our under 17 youth groups. And then we have a charitable status now, which is for our over 18s. So we offer day opportunities and social events for over 18 young people with special educational needs and disabilities. So we run across 7 days a week, some day provisions, as I've said, work opportunities, internships for young people with SEN and youth groups. So when COVID struck us all, we looked at how we could continue to develop the work and deliver what we already deliver. So we, as a team, looked at what platforms were out there. What was really apparent is our young people need to see each other, and they also, for some of them that are non-verbal or have hearing impairment, it was vital that it was a visual platform rather than a written platform, because I know that some of the youth provisions have got sort of just online written platforms. And what was also really apparent from talking to parents, because we carried out some quick research with parents, was the consistency, and to keep it as consistent as what it was before. So we have developed all of our youth groups online using Zoom. So, and they run exactly at the same time as what they would run when they were youth groups before. Right. All of our day provisions run exactly the same as well. So they will run on the same days with the same staff using Zoom again. Right. We've also, with our day provisions, what we also do is, because it's very much targeted around young people that are NEET with SEND, it's about still enabling them to learn skills. So on the evening beforehand, we would send out a PowerPoint presentation of what their tasks and challenges and skills that they were going to be learning throughout the next day, that had got a voiceover as well. Which again was feedback from parents that they needed them to be able to hear it as well as see it. So that's sent out the night before, and then on the morning of the day provisions, we meet with the group via Zoom, and we go through the PowerPoint with them, ensure they know what they need to do throughout the day. And then throughout that day, they would go off and do their various tasks, send in evidence via video and photos. And then we meet them again at the end of the day to evaluate what they've done, make sure they're all okay, check in and sort of like celebrate what they've succeeded, and just for them to decide if there's any other skills they want to learn for the following week. So that's been able to be really successful. We've continued that really well. So that runs 3 days a week. We've also, with our youth groups, engage in, we have a theme each week. So as a staff team, we meet once a week, look at the theme. So for instance, this week, our theme has been superheroes, and one of our members' relatives is Tony Christie. And so we're all doing our Show Me the Way to Amarillo dance that he's going to superimpose with him and make a video for us all. So all of our youth groups have similar programs that we plan together. And then we record in all of our work exactly the same on our database, and evidencing our outcomes against the National Occupational Standards for youth work. We've also, as well, because of the success of Zoom, we've created new programs. So through some of the work that we've carried out with the young people, they were getting quite anxious, recognised that a number of the girls had got sort of high levels of anxiety. So we've created an online Zoom yoga session with a local yoga tutor. So we have a mums and daughters yoga session once a week now. Nick has developed a sports provision once a week online now. So we're trying to keep the young people sort of engaged, and any new initiatives that we can think of, we're sort of trying to develop that as a staff team and to work together. Brilliant. We're using WhatsApp as well for one-to-ones where young people are really struggling. But from a safeguarding perspective, we always have 2 members of staff, whether that's WhatsApp, phone calls, or on Zoom. We have a member of staff who's done all of our policies and procedures and risk assessments around using online platforms as well, which we're reviewing on a sort of bi-weekly basis to ensure that any new things that might pop up we can sort of address. So it's been really successful, and I have to say we've probably still engaging 80% of our membership. And we're still having yesterday, for instance, we had 2 new referrals as exits from targeted provisions, so from learning disability team and social workers that are going to engage in our Zoom sessions and then our provisions afterwards. So yeah, it's about being creative, as we are as youth workers, and working with our young people and our parents and carers, really, and having a fabulous team that are dedicated to looking at doing it differently.
Brilliant. I mean, that sounds really, it is really innovative that, not just the fact that you have managed to kind of maintain the programs that were existing, in all of this, but actually that, like you say, because of your creativity, that you've been able to sort of create new initiatives and actually sort of develop and enhance your program, which is really kind of interesting. And I guess what it does is it might it kind of really brings forth or kind of stretches the mind in terms of what digital youth work could be, sort of all about. And so whilst this is a horrendous situation, obviously, I guess we can see some kind of silver lining in terms of, sort of future innovative practice and stuff like that. I just want to sort of move to Nick now. So Nick, do you want to just tell us a little bit about your experience as a student on placement with Liberty? And just your perspective, really.
Yeah, obviously, the main experience of my being with Liberty is the fact that obviously I'm working with young people with SEND, which is a path that I never actually envisaged going down, but I've probably benefited the most from working with these young people. I've changed as a person through just being around these people, because obviously we take for granted everything in life. We just get up and we walk about or whatever. These young people are sort of got these challenges every single day of their life,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously they're disadvantaged in everyday life as well. And it's just, you know, to see how these young people overcome these challenges and excel in certain areas, it's just an amazing experience. I've been on obviously NCS with these young people. I've seen them push themselves to the limit and beyond, and you know, it's just so fulfilling that you can sort of just watch these young people and just see how they grow through everything that they face day to day. Working with Maggi and the team, these sort of the energy and the passion that the team have got, you know, and their commitment to these young people and to the cause, it never falters. You know, Maggi has, with COVID-19, Maggi has just sort of been forward thinking from the start. It took me by surprise a little bit more, and I wasn't as engaged with the online youth work straight away. And I sort of dropped back a little bit, but suddenly I've got back into it and sort of engaged with it. And you know, to see that these guys when we're doing the online fitness and everything, to see them having fun and engaging and wanting to be there and wanting to actually do fitness exercise with me as their coach, you know, it's amazing watching them. And watching one yesterday when he's doing his boxing and that, he just got it was his birthday, he got some new boxing gloves and he got a punch bag and everything, and he was using that in the fitness. And just to see sort of these guys, it's you know, it just brightens up your day, and you come up, you finish the recording or whatever, and you know, you leave feeling in a much better place. You know, and also learning from Maggi and obviously the management side of things, setting up this sports program, which would have gone live a few weeks ago, before COVID-19, and then thinking that it's not going to finish, we're not going to actually get that to an end because of this, but then obviously turning it into an online fitness session. Yeah, I've learned so much from Maggi and the team. It's been an amazing experience, something I'll never forget.
Wow, brilliant. Well, I think there's a bit of a theme there, isn't there? In turn, you know, it went to stretched you above and beyond sort of your own experiences, and this whole situation has kind of, it seems to have stretched everybody above and beyond, you know, sort of their own experience as well. It's that thing about learning from our environment. That's great. So no, thanks for that, both. Thanks ever so much for that. And Maggi, I just want to really sort of, you know, offer my sincere gratitude for, you know, taking students on.
No, it's great. It inspires us as a team. Every time we have new students, it's just another, you know, life's about learning, isn't it? And you never stop. So when you have another student, that student brings a wealth of new knowledge, and that's, you know, it's a two-way gain, I think, when students engage with services and organisations. So, you know, for any other organisation out there, I think it's really valuable to have youth and community students.
And certainly from my perspective, you know, just talking to you guys and coming out and doing the placement visits and everything, you know, it revitalises me as a lecturer. You know, kind of inspires me, you know, to continue and to keep on working with the students as well. It's a really beautiful cycle. Okay.
And I think from my perspective, so can I just add as well, from my perspective, sort of for the future of youth work, I think, you know, within like training within the youth work sector, I think that I know for sure that some of the online provisions that we've developed we've already been asked if that can continue even when we come out. So, for instance, the mother and daughter Zoom, because they all live in very different areas, and because of some of the mobility issues, I've asked if we can continue to do that online. And so I think it's really vital that as youth workers, we do use innovative ways of engaging and, you know, working with young people, but also understanding the fundamental safeguarding and risk management around that.
Yeah.
So it's important that students next year start to think about that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's great. Right, thanks very much, both.
Thank you.
I just need to say before we finish. So for anybody watching this, look on our website www.newman.ac.uk and look for the Youth and Community Work course pages.